Carolina varsity, Langston. Make sure it
All
shows
right.
up there.
Talking Preps Friday night with Jim West and Dale Ross. Welcome aboard. Okay, Dale, we got some clarity about next week's schedule. I'm looking forward to this. Thursday night, when what we thought was going to be the 1A and 8A would be Thursday, it is. Wilson Prep and Robbinsville will be the 4 o'clock game, and Millbrook and Huff will be 8 o'clock, and that is at UNC Keenan Stadium. So that's 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Thursday, December 11th. Friday, it's going to be the 6A at 4 o'clock and the 7A at 8 o'clock. Dale, I just wanted to ask you about this. Looks like Keenan Stadium kind of looked out. They got the 6A, 7A, and 8A, and of course they got the 1A. Those are some pretty big high profile games here.
Yeah, and there's, but I believe some of the other games, I got to look at them if they're high profile. I guess it all depends, right? Who you are and what you think, but.
Well, I'm talking about the classifications, the 6A, 7A, 8A. They're
okay. They got the biggest classifications.
Yeah, biggest classifications. Now, if you look at
bigger crowds, maybe at the other games though.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That Lenore-Ryan and game Breesville Brevard. I think that's going to be that should have a lot of attendees there. Breesville travels well, and Brevard is not that far from Lenore-Ryan. And then Tarboro versus Murphy. That's going to be a pretty good one.
Tarboro travels well. At least Murphy every time I've seen Tarboro and Murphy. So there could be a better crowd there than, say, at Millbrook versus Huff. Shelby travels well. And Crest travels well, pretty well.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Most definitely. Kinston is not that far from Durham. I mean, it's I think I could probably go from Durham to Kinston in less than an hour and a half, and Wilson about probably just maybe a little over an hour or so from Durham. So the distance shouldn't be too bad for for either Kinston or Hunts. And Shelby and Crest, like you said, they travel well. So Durham County should have some pretty decent crowds too.
I'm going to talk about it tonight, but Chris and I had some great conversation about maybe how this should be done and how it's done in Texas. So that might be something post-championships too.
Yeah, post-championships, we can do that. I'd agree with that. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and look at the scores for tonight. See if we can get those up. We only had 3 games tonight. Both the 6A games are going to be tomorrow. That's Northern Guilford at Watauga and Mill Creek at Jacksonville. Brevard, they pretty much handled Maiden 30-13. No shock there. Murphy beating Starmount 13-2. I thought it was going to be a defensive battle, and it was. Shelby just blanks Lincolnton 30-0. I predicted Shelby to win that game. I did not predict them to have, shut out Lincolnton like that.
Wasn't just a shutout. It was a domination. It really was. Lincolnton's a good team. I'm telling you, they really are a good team. The score doesn't tell you that. It's kind of like looking at, I thought, it didn't dawn on me till I was leaving the stadium that this domination was very much like the domination of Huff and West Charlotte. Not something anybody expected a closer game. The team won that most people picked in both scenarios, Shelby and Huff. But in this particular scenario, just like in the Huff scenario, it was just a domination of I don't know what more to say other than domination, other than I really like 8 for Shelby. Gosh, that guy is good.
I watched this game on KTC Broadcasting tonight, and The one thing I'll say about Shelby, their backs, their quarterback, they have better field vision than just about anybody I've seen play this year.
Yeah, so the backs were very good, and I don't know if all my no, I know all my videos didn't get up that I commented on it, but there were a lot of runs, like that one run that you saw where he was dropped right short of the goal line. Now, I'm sure that the audio in it, I commented on how when he made his cut and got to the line of scrimmage, you can see him looking where to go. And so his vision and his reaction to where he should go was like snap decision, just like it should be for a great back. And he saw the hole and hit the hole, and that now it's just outrunning the safety. And Jim, I saw that out of the backs all night. So you're spot on when you say that. Their vision, how they saw the holes and saw the field was really good. And so was the ones for Lincolnton. It's just that Shelby's defense played a fantastic ball game. Uh,
Right.
the I don't know, just everything about the game was it just didn't it from the very first score, I was really questioning at that time, what was this game going to be like? I told the guys I was around, I said, this doesn't feel right. And then the second score goes up. And I there were a number of people that were there. Justin Jones was there, and I got something to talk with you about, Jim, later about
Okay.
we discussed. He and I discussed, but there were Jeff and Alan was there, and so there were a lot of people I was talking with, and I started feeling in the about early into the second quarter, this game would not be close, and I really started wondering if we would hit a running clock. Um, I think there was a little let up, but thankfully we did not get into a running clock situation. But it never felt like Lincolnton had a chance. I hate to say that, but it really didn't. So why we didn't have the tight game we expected? I thought the Brevard Maiden game. I don't know about you, but I thought that could have been a little closer.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was thinking 7 to 10 points in that Brevard Maiden game. The one thing I'll say about Lincolnton and Shelby didn't hesitate on offense or defense. Lincolnton, you could see them hesitating. They first thing, I don't think their offensive line could handle the
No,
attack.
that front seven was wow. No, no,
Just
no.
wide open. I mean, just
Yeah.
they just couldn't handle it, and I think that just got Lincolnton. They just didn't feel comfortable all night. The interesting thing about it is these two teams played about a month and a half ago, and it was a 1 point game that Lincolnton won. And I'm trying to
Well,
reconcile what happened 6, 7 weeks ago to the night, and it seems like
I can
some of
tell
the
you.
players from Shelby got healthy, and
No, it's not just that. As I had said, um, Shelby has been building.
yeah,
And I don't mean in an intentional build. They just have been building, having impressive plays since then. And it just seems like they were getting stronger, through these
they have one of
playoffs
the
as
running
well.
backs that came back that was dinged up in the first game and didn't play. So I
But
know that's
still,
that's one part of it.
that's a part of not being able to score more than the other team,
Right.
but not a part of keeping the other team scoreless, which is what
Yeah.
happened here.
Right.
So Shelby's just a better football team. And
Oh yeah.
talking with some people that cover Shelby, there is other media there. There was a Crest Media guy there that it was fun talking with him and just talking with these different people. They said, well, what Shelby has been doing is they've got this thing going about them internally that has been building. It's you kind of seen it in the performance, but Jim, I did not see just absolutely a 0 point Lincolnton. if this game had ended 30-28, that would have been what I would have expected.
Well, something I was going to say about Shelby though, they've played the last 4 or 5, I think, the last 4 games on the road. I mean, they started out in this week, in the
Mhm.
week, the second round playing East Rutherford on the roads, and they beat them. I forgot who all else they've beaten the last few weeks, but I mean, this is the 4th time in a row they've had to go on the roads and they won. So that's shows to me that they're going to have they're going to be they're going to represent the West very well next week. So
Yeah,
that game
when
between
you're
Kinston is going to be good too, because Kinston's another team that had to go on the road and win.
well, when you're a good team, and Shelby is a very good team, defensively, number 24, I was just really impressed with his play tonight. Um, I the techniques of the defensive lineman. So Jeff Miller, who some people and especially the Carolina varsity watchers know Jeff very well. Um, several years ago at home, back when I was doing CV videos from here, and Matt was with me. Uh, it actually got videoed. I spent about an hour teaching Jeff how to play defensive line, sitting there in my great room, and I was teaching him things like swim moves, and I caught some great swim moves on video tonight by the Shelby defense. I don't know if you paid attention to that line and the linebackers play and the techniques they were using. But man, the kids are sound.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how that Shelby Kinston game will go. So I'll certainly be watching it on TV. I won't watch it in person.
Well, that's
Our
it's
Mount,
interesting because Shelby is number 10 seed, and Kinston's a number 14 seed. You don't
hmm
find many number 10 seeds and 14 seeds making it into the state finals.
this is here's a problem with RPI versus power rankings.
Yeah.
Because if you flip around and look at power rankings, you're going to find Shelby's a high power ranked program. RPI is not a true representation
No.
of who you are or even who your opponents are, because wins, 1 point wins aren't as impressive as, say, 21-point wins.
Right.
And are certainly not impressive if your 21-point wins are against teams that have decent power rankings as well. So,
Right.
Jim, this is a clear indicator to me that teams of this ranking making it to the state championship isn't luck. It's a poor seeding system that we
Oh,
have
sure.
in our playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I
Well,
will say
are
this
you
though,
not?
with
I was going to
Kinston,
ask you.
I was surprised that they made it as far as it did. Shelby never surprised me.
Right. I don't
But
think it surprised me either.
But I know with Kinston they played a lot of the 3A in the East was I was going to say the 14 or 6 or was it 48 or 24 teams in the East. I would say Kinston, if I had to pick, top 10, they would be in my top 10 in the East. I was going to say they'd be more like a 6 or 7. They beat James Keenan. Not only did they beat James Keenan, they beat them pretty good, 30-7.
I
And
picked Keenan to win, so there's another.
there was a lot of teams that just went to the side. I mean, Northeastern. I mean, that's another really good team there. And
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was interested about that. Shelby, though, when I saw when they first came out with the seeding, I was like, oh my gosh, look at that second round. East Rutherford at number 7, who I think was also poorly ranked. I thought they should be in the top 3 or 4, and Shelby at number 10. And I was like, this is just not right. So,
I don't know what we can do to influence the NCHSAA to change. Is it the coaches that need to influence that? But I wanted to ask you, are you not surprised that See, I thought in that Murphy Starmount game, I didn't think anyone would break 20, but I just didn't see Starmount's only score being a safety. I just kind of felt like they'd at least have found one touchdown in this game. But
They've struggled. They're more of a defensive team. I've seen them kind of struggle periodically during the season. I'm not saying, but they played some pretty good teams. I mean, they played East Wilkes, is a very
yes,
very strong team. So 13-2, I think that's a pretty good testament about how strong Murphy's defense is, to be honest with you. And that kind of comes back to me thinking, can Murphy do anything with Tarboro next week? Tarboro is a team that runs the ball really effectively, but also they have a very good defense. If Murphy can only score 13 points against Starmount, who Starmount again has a great defense, I just don't know if they have anything close to what Tarboro's defense is.
yeah, I
I
don't.
think Tarboro is going to be, pretty well favored in that game.
I think we have to. The only way we can truly understand the Murphy Starmount game is to get the game film
Yeah,
and watch it and analyze it and see why Murphy only scores 13. Starmount may have been playing great defense, or there could be a number of factors.
turnovers, penalty
Exactly.
flags.
Yeah. So at least I in person got to watch the Shelby Lincolnton game, and I can definitely attest to why this happened. Murphy Starmount, no. Brevard Maiden. I kept hearing the score announced on the Brevard Maiden, and I just kept
Yeah.
thinking, I thought that would be a 1-2 score difference, and so maybe a little more than 2 scores. So
Tell you what, that Brevard Raceville game is going to be a really good one. Saw, or I shouldn't say I saw. I've listened to Raceville play. I have seen Raceville play earlier on the season, and they have a really good team. They have a pretty good offense, a pretty good defense. But when you rank this year's Raceville team to other Raceville teams in the past, it may not be quite as good. And that's no knock against this team whatsoever. It's just that their predecessors were just so tremendous. Brevard might be slightly favored in that game next week. I'll have to think about it.
well, I think, and I'll look at the power rankings after we get off, but Brevard, I'll bring it up maybe because we're going to have some time. Brevard's power ranking may be. I'm trying to remember, but Swanee, I think that they might be sitting there in the top, Jim. Preps football. Here, let's see here.
So,
So I agree with you though. They'll probably be slightly favored, maybe.
gotcha. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and look at the playoffs again. I want to see those. There we go. While Dale's looking at that Wilson Prep Robbinsville game, right now, if I had a guess, I would say Robbinsville probably between I'm gonna say 5 to 10 points favorites. If
So
I had to guess on that.
just to answer, Jim, I was wrong. They are close. It's Reedsville, West Craven, Brevard. That's
Okay,
and then Maiden
top
that's your
four.
top four. East Duplin is power ranked number 5, and
They
uh,
pretty close
for,
bunched together, or was there any big
well,
separation?
the two that are really close to each other is Reedsville and West Craven. They're point 0.1, uh, 0.1 separation, and Brevard is a full 2-point separation, which is close in the overall picture because there's a gap down to Maiden next. So it's like 30.3, 30.2, 28.0, and 24.7. And then
Okay.
when you get down to East Duplin, they're at 17.9. So there's a big drop when you get out of the top four. There's a huge
Gotcha.
drop.
Well, with that Wilson Prep Robbinsville game, I do expect Robbinsville to be a mild favorites. We
Hmm.
shall see that. It's going to be an interesting game how these two teams matched up. Wilson Prep might have some better athleticism. Robbinsville might have more depth. We'll see how that works out next week. But
Yeah,
big
and
game though.
I might be pulling for them as well. So Wilson
Yeah,
Prep.
I understand that. Totally understand that. Now the next one, Millbrook versus Huff. I know on paper Huff is going to be favored. They're probably going to be favored by about 2 weeks by 2 touchdowns. I like Millbrook. I really do. I think their defense is just incredible. But one thing I was going to ask you about, Huff played a pretty good team last week against West Charlotte's and
A pretty good team.
dismounted a very good team.
They played a very, very good team.
And there's a little bit of drama about that West Charlotte team tonight. Do you have any details about that? I have. I've been
No,
got
I am
some
not going
stuff.
to I'm not going to share any details right now that I have. I think
Gotcha.
everybody knows that Sam is not, he is suspended with pay. And that's really the only detail I will share that I know. Um,
And we know he's
just
not
because
right now. He's not the football coach of West Charlotte. Is that correct? Has that been
I would,
announced?
well, he's suspended without pay. So that means
Okay.
that he cannot function as in any capacity at the school, which would mean he could not function as the head football coach either. He can't, you know. Uh, so he is right now. And that's really all I want to say. If there's anything that media, I understand Langston wrote an article today that I've not read yet. Uh, I would point people to the Charlotte Observer and read what Langston has written about it. Um, I know that the local stations, TV stations, have ran some kind of story about it. I didn't know. I received a phone call as I was driving to Lincoln and was advised of it. And uh, I just hadn't been paying attention to anything going on today, not even our chat, Jim. So I had I've been hearing things for a while, as we've discussed off camera.
Right.
And that will remain, hopefully, at least out of my lips. And it's nothing anybody has told me that would not want me to say what I said. Um, I have had people tell me things and they don't want themselves identified, and I'll not share what they told me either. But the things that I have heard that I could share. I just don't think this is the time and the place right now to share that.
Right.
Uh, I think the things we have to worry about, Jim, are there could be legal proceedings that take place, and we just don't want to put things out that might hamper anything. I trust Sam. I trust his integrity.
Hmm.
Um,
And
and
that's where I want to get back to on that is integrity. I think Sam is above reproach, and as such, I know that I've seen some people question his ethics or whatever. I know Sam quite well. I think he's an honest person. I trust him to hold my bill full. No problem whatsoever. Uh, and I just want to kind of, I guess what I want to give people some ease. Sam's a very good guy. He's a good, caring person. He loves his players. He loves his assistant coaches. I mean, heck, he loves guys like me and you that we give him grief all the time as much as we can, just to pick on him a little bit. And
well,
he's just a really good sport. And
you have to
I've seen some.
understand. You have to understand one thing. People already know what you said, and then people have an exact opposite opinion,
Yeah.
and there's a large number of those people. So I don't think anybody so those large number of people can't be convinced. And everybody else, I think, recognizes, especially in the community and the community he is in, they recognize the commitment that he has made uh, in sacrifices he makes to his family, his wife, his children. I don't think people recognize, some people may not recognize the sacrifices he makes or has
Well,
made,
one
and
thing I'll
all
say,
coaches make. So
right,
don't
and
narrow that to just him.
one thing I'll say about the ones that I've heard say things about Sam, it always comes off as jealousy. And maybe I'm wrong about this, but it just seems like there's a lot of people that are jealous of his success.
No,
He
there's
Sam's a very
uh,
confident person, and I've seen some people just seem to, I don't know, are jealous that he can do what he's done in such a short time on this planet.
well, I can't. Again, I don't want to say much, but I can say that those kind of people are not the problem here. I'll
Okay,
say that. Yeah,
okay, I got you.
that's not the kind of people that are the problem here. So
Well, I just want to say
I
that I wish Sam the best. He's a very good man, and I love Sam, and I hope I know he's going to everything's going to go right for him about this. Well,
I
I
just
feel
wanted
very strong about it.
I just wanted to be clear. I have never been a person that wants to jump out in front of stories,
Yeah, same here.
and uh, that's I was reluctant to say anything about it tonight because I know that the world knows that this happened. There were people at the game tonight who are not 8A people. I'm talking about just your normal
3A.
Lincolnton and Shelby people. Um, and I'm not going to say I had a bunch of people come up to me and say anything about it, but some people did because I had my face uncovered. Um, I had my head cover on, but my face was uncovered here, so people could recognize. If they recognize me from the show, then they recognize that Sam is on the show too, and
Well, you'll laugh at this. I
that's
had someone actually reach out to me and said, "Do you think Sam has any interest in going to be the next Albemarle head football coach?" And first thing I said is, I didn't know Albemarle was open. The second thing is, no. I just people just
well,
as soon as I hear something like this, it's like they're just jumping on here. So
well,
anyway, I wish the
the
best for
West
Sam.
Side School he has not won a state championship for. West Mecklenburg
Yeah.
uh, is open, so I don't know. See, Sam is always, as long as I've known Sam, his goal is to coach college football. So um, I don't know. I don't know yet. And as I have discussions with Sam, I'll only share what Sam wants to be shared. I don't want to be in front of anything. I think there's another. I don't want to call him our competitor, but understand that the other show, is what I'll call it, uh, made certain they were going to say something about it tonight. I just don't want to go into detail, Jim. I really
Yeah, I understand that. And there are certain people like Sam. I guess Sam could go, walk on Lake Wiley, and next thing you know, you read all these stories about how Sam can't swim.
Oh, I
You
thought
know,
you were going to say he was going to go down and try to get that job
no,
because
I was just talking
the
about Lake Wiley itself. Piece of
the
water.
interesting, the interesting rumor that was posted, I guess today, was that Andy Capone has been talked to about taking. So Lake Wiley is a new high school that is opening in South Carolina, and Jim is in York County, and these are where your Powers, Clover, and South Point, Northwestern exist. It's a
Yeah,
good football county. It's
just
being
in the
right
wrong
next to.
state.
No, I mean,
It's in the wrong
uh,
state, man. I'm a North
it's
Carolinian. Those sandlappers. Forget about it.
Well, see, it feeds off of Mecklenburg. So when you look at football and we look at all the talent that's in Mecklenburg County, what people need to understand is, the counties that touch Mecklenburg, Union, Cabarrus, Gaston, Iredell.
Lincoln.
I mean, those counties all benefit. Lincoln County doesn't touch Mecklenburg County.
Does it not?
It's no, no. There's no place in it touches, does it? I don't think so. It's
Check that out.
possible right up there around Lake Wild. I don't know. I don't think so.
Let me check that.
But it may up there around Mountain Island. So let me think about it. You go
yeah,
up to
there's the
Denver.
very tip.
It does.
The very tip of
Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, right up there around Mountain Island.
Yeah.
But there's because of that radius around Charlotte, and it's the radius that the Observer focuses on. That whole radius is a large population. It includes York County. And thus, the benefits these other counties get of Mecklenburg County that ends up benefiting their football is why York County has so many schools and is great. Now, York County, Jim, was good way back. Rock Hill used to be a power. Rock Hill High School used to be a power. Them in Northwestern is who District 3 Stadium was built for. So anyway, there is a job open in South Carolina. And you're talking about a county when, one of the big focuses this year has been paying the coaches. And South Carolina pays their coaches. So wouldn't it be something if Andy Capone goes to South Carolina, to Lincoln County?
Yeah, I think there's might be some other big names that leave for South Carolina or leave for South Carolina too. But
this season,
yeah,
think so.
I think I could see a couple of them, and I can see a couple of them in your general area, in the greater Charlotte area.
Well, a couple of things have to happen for, let's say, one of the coaches out of Mecklenburg County to take a South Carolina job. It's got to be the right job.
Right.
They're not just going to go take any job. They're not going to go to Dillon, go down to Dillon, I don't think, because most of the coaches have families as well. So there's going to have to be the dynamics of it's in an area where I can be a champion if they're not a champion. So kind of like what Aaron Brand did. Aaron Brand got a great situation with Irmo. He's down in an area that's like a Mecklenburg County area, and gets the pay, lives in a good area, and has the opportunity to draw players, just like what Knott's did by taking Dutch Fork. Again, that area is a great area. And York County would be a great area. So for a coach in Mecklenburg County to go to South Carolina, it's going to have to be one of the more well-known jobs, or an area that his family will be able to thrive. Now, I don't know who in Mecklenburg County has earned the level of that kind of attraction. Huff, Coach Baker's a fantastic coach. And he may win us. I picked them to win the state championship. You think Millbrook's got a defense? Where do you see Huff play? I'm going to wait until the championships are over. But I think right now, without hard analysis, this Huff team is one of the top 10 teams I've seen play. It would rank in the top 10 list that Langston threw up Was it on this last week's show or
A couple
main
weeks
show?
ago. Yeah, it's been several
Um,
weeks ago.
I
About the
I gotta
independence
think,
and yeah.
yeah, yeah, where he wrongly puts 2004 Independence second best team. Uh, I think this team it's not going to reach those Leak Independence and the 2004 Independence. It might not even reach the Butler.
How about the
But
Miller
it's
Creek years, 2013 through 15?
see it's this is where we're talking about in the top 10. So we're going to be looking somewhere in that realm, I think. But if they lose, then I can't think about it.
Yeah.
But Millbrook is a better. I think. See, the thing is I think Millbrook is a better opponent than say Independence faced during their runs, and they won, except for um, 2003. That 2003 Richmond team should have been. That game should have been the state championship.
Yeah.
So, Jim, this is a very good. Huff's a very good team. So Baker, I just don't think has enough experience yet for a South Carolina school to say we want to give you $110,000 because that's what you're looking at approximately 110, 115,000 is what they'll pay.
Here we
Here's
go.
that
All
list.
times.
So as you can see, that 2013 team is at 7. Um, the 2009 Butler, maybe, the 2012, no. The That Richmond team, 1998. Do you remember it? That was a damn good team.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I was going to ask you between Providence Day this year and Huff, who's the better team?
it'd be a great game. Providence Day is a phenomenal team this year, and you have to think they would win the game. But I'll be honest with you, that would be a clash of titans. That would be a clash of that would be a true offense and defense, offensive and defensive.
I think defensive would be pretty darn good.
Now I see a 31-14 prediction. I say no. I don't think PD would get into the 30s because this is a good defense. This is one of the, I'm gonna tell you, man, fantastic front seven and a secondary that can cover like nobody's business. Um, that domination that they put on against a very good West Charlotte team to tell us exactly what they got. They made it hard for West Charlotte to do the things they wanted to do. But I would probably say an early thought would be a PD 7-point favorite is what I would think.
One thing I was going to mention, going back to that Shelby Lincolnton game, before that game, they were talking about whether to move the game to Thursday or keep it on Friday or whatever. And there was some talk that Lincolnton might be a better bad weather team. Was weather a factor today at all, besides
It
just being
wasn't
cold?
it wasn't a thought that they would be. It was a statement that the head coach made to several people that we
Right.
both know.
But I had the weather,
Chris,
about the
Chris and
field.
Alan. He
Right.
he felt like that the weather would benefit them. Now you have to understand the thoughts were at the time that reschedulings were done that there would be rain tonight, that we would be in rain. It wasn't no thought that the rain would end this morning. So
How were
this
the field
stadium,
conditions? That's what I
well,
was asking about.
yeah, no. So the field conditions, because you have to understand again, there was no weather. We had no
Yeah.
weather but cold. So it's a turf field, which
Yeah.
means in a turf field and it's not raining, then your conditions are going to be almost normal.
Right.
This is one of the best stadiums.
You like it
It
that
ranks.
much?
It is so. I had not been here. They just rebuilt it 2 years ago. They put the field in. They kept the stands. It looked different to me because what they did is they rebuilt the press box. Um, and yeah, the stadium is fun. It's a fantastic stadium. It really is. The environment was great. Both sides were full. Um, I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every game I've been to Lincolnton, all three. So it's not like I've been to Lincolnton a lot, but the the environment was good. The thing that Sam likes a lot. You see the lights going on and off. Uh,
Hmm.
they have the control of the lights. You can see the stands were full. Unfortunately, those fans that you see there did not get a good experience tonight. But Jim, you would like the stadium. I'm positive you'd like it. You know what else we didn't have though? We didn't have all those stupid videographers doing their hype videos on the sidelines.
Oh, that's too bad.
All I saw were serious media. Serious media. All the people that I know to be serious media, the guys from over in Gastonia,
Well, when you
in
said Justin
Cleveland
Jones, you can't
County.
get more serious than Justin.
Well, getting Justin to cover high school versus college, you got something special going on.
He's a
Uh,
good guy. Gosh, he's a great guy.
he is a good guy. So, yeah, Jim, you would have loved the game. The conditions were not bad at all, except for it was cold, and for some reason, it warmed up towards the end. I don't know how much, but it did warm some degrees that I could feel. Conditions played no impact in the game. The field was fantastic.
It's interesting you said that. Right now it's 37 degrees in Hillsboro, which is about as warm as it's gotten the entire day here.
So
So,
there must be some warming up taking place. Um, my
right.
fingers were hurting. My fingertips were hurting with gloves on in the first half. Then I took my gloves off and things were fine. How did we do?
Well, everybody picked Shelby, so
Shelby Grimsley. Um,
and
uh,
the Brevard Maiden. I see that Gary and Dale and Langston and
uh,
Nate all picked Brevard.
I had no
Everybody picked Murphy.
opportunity. Yeah, I had no opportunity to gain on Langston. That 1 point difference. The only question is do we both go 6-0?
That Northern Guilford game in Watauga, that's going to be a good one. I mean, that's tomorrow. It's at 6 o'clock. Uh, I, I personally pick Northern Guilford, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a very, I expect probably a 3 to 7 point type of margin tomorrow.
I agree with you. I'd like to go, but there's several reasons I can't go. So I survived tonight, which surprised me. But then, Jim, I had on two base layers. I put on a base layer, if you're familiar with base layering. And then I put on another base layer that's thin thermal that helps hold in. And then I wore my pants and shirt, this
You,
sweatshirt. Oh, yeah. Go Wolfpack.
you
And
put vaccine all over you.
I didn't do that because I had head cover.
So let's go back and look at these games here. I was looking at the weather also. There is a chance that we might actually see some flurries on Thursday and Friday in Chapel Hill next week. We're kind of in a cold pattern for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's getting kind of annoying. I'm liking. I want to see a 70-degree day before too long.
I wish
But
tonight 8A and 1A had played their state championships tonight. That's what I wish. And then there wouldn't be a Thursday game.
yeah, it'd be nice. So Thursday, UNC at UNC, Wilson Prep versus Robbinsville, Millbrook at Huff versus Huff. One thing I don't like about this, I mean, it's supposed to be the parking should be decent. The students are going to be gone, but getting kids on a Thursday to go to UNC is going to be horrible.
Yeah, I don't know how whatever the time is, that's just horrible. That's why it shouldn't have been played on Thursday, Jim. It just should not. We managed. Justin and I had a long conversation about this last night. We managed to run 8 championships on Friday and Saturday. 8 championships.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to close down before. Now we have to spread 8 championships over Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It just we're just too poorly managed.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. We used to have like multiple locations, more than just three locations. We actually had four. For a while we had Carolina, Dig State, and Wake. Even back when we did three, we could. It was pretty good. But Dale, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'll give you your final thoughts for tonight.
Well, first thing I'll say is I'm responding to a comment. It says he can come to Richmond County and coach the young. That was talking about Sam. Well, the only thing I'm going to make my final thought, it will be about the situation with Sam. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, Sam's on Talking Preps with us, but don't reach out to me and thinking you're going to get some kind of inside information, because you will not. Um, this is a situation that needs to be left alone. So we said enough about it earlier. The game that I attended, nothing triggered a final thought there. That's just my final thought. I would suggest not reaching out to anybody within Talking Preps about what's going on. Leave us
I
alone,
echo
and
that.
you will not get a response from me. So that's it. We can call the night a night.
Okay, well, from Jim West and Dell Ross, thank you so much. And there's chances you can catch up with us again. I guess we'll probably do a show right before the championship games. But from Jim West and Dell Ross, thank you so much for joining us on Talking Preps Friday night.